Hey, and welcome to another Thursday edition of Collection Connection, the game that is just an excuse to talk about records. If you want to know about how we play, to understand how you can play along, the rules are in the description. All right, so let's get to it. So with this last pick, Eric played Morrissey's Vauxhall and I, which in spite of being an album that I own, I had a difficult time finding a connection with. I thought about artists who are one-name artists who only go by their last name, which are a relative rarity. And a lot of things. It's kind of a nondescript album that just kind of in the middle of his catalog to try and come up with a connection with. But eventually, what I settled on was that the more you ignore me, the closer I get. The single, one of the singles from Vauxhall and I, happens to be the only charting single in the US Hot 100 that Morrissey has ever had in his career, which is somewhat surprising, but that's it. So he's kind of a one-hit wonder. And so my connection is another surprise, sort of, to me anyway, one-hit wonder. And the hit was Stacy's Mom, and the band is Fountains of Wayne, and the album is Welcome Interstate Managers. Now, a few years ago, my wife and I, about 5 or 6 years ago now, my wife and I, just for fun, did a top 50 albums of all time, each of ours, just to see what kind of overlap there was. And this happened to be the number one album on my wife's list. This is her favorite album of all time. The chart success was helped greatly by the fact that it was featured on the iTunes Music Store, which had just opened in 2003. This is from 2003, and was a big hit for iTunes. And that translated, I'm not sure how they did. I should have probably looked this up, but I didn't look at how they looked at downloads as far as the charts went. But it was a big hit, and that translated to some chart success, and it had a rather notorious video starring Rachel Hunter, I believe, as Stacy's mom. Now, the Fountains of Wayne, to me, are the sort of the masters of power pop in their era of the late 90s and the 2000s. They put out 5, I think, albums, maybe 6. This being their third, Welcome Interstate Managers. And if you like Cheap Trick, I can't believe that they weren't a bigger band, really. Adam Schlesinger, who unfortunately passed away due to complications with the pandemic early last year, was one of the primary songwriters. He was the bass player in the band, and the singer, Chris Collingwood, was the other primary writer. And the two of them had a great sense of the pop hook. All their albums are full of the pop hook. And their take, especially Adam Schlesinger, on very specific things is so interesting. And so an album like this has a song called Haley's Waitress, which is a great title because it's a song about a guy waiting for his waitress to come back around to fill his coffee, and he is likening her infrequent appearance to Halley's Comet. All Kinds of Time, which is a ballad about a football player in the moment, a quarterback, getting ready to make the big play, and how time slows down. So it's very observed songwriting, and it's been framed in these terrific pop hooks. And I'm running short of time here, but yeah, welcome Interstate Managers from Fountains of Wayne. I'm kind of banging this out while the construction is not too bad. And yeah, I think my time's about to run out. It's a great album. It's recommended. Any Fountains of Wayne album, really. Um, but that is my connection. Sort of a surprise one-hit wonder. And I will pass it back to you, Eric. So everyone else, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.